just as we continue our conversation around the BELA Bill, following the DA warning that the signing of the BELA Bill will directly violate the letter and the spirit of the joint statement of intent of the GNU. Party leader John Steenhuisen, made a request to meet with the president before Friday to deliver his party's amendments to the bill and request for it to be taken back to Parliament. Steenhuisen has stressed that if the ANC continues with this course of action, it will only diminish the good faith built around the GNU. The parties further requested the establishment of a dispute resolution mechanism that will ensure the letter of intent is upheld and no unilateral action could be taken by a single party within the government of national unity. We have just spoken to Naptosa and Satu. Let's bring in Equal Education Deputy General Secretary Itumeleng Mothlabane, who weighs in on the conversation. Itumeleng, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the late edition and thank you for your time. What do you make of the narrative and the position of the DA and the president at this moment in time when it comes to the implementation of the BELA Bill?
So as Equal Education, we long released a statement at the beginning of this year where we were speaking about the delays in the signing of the BELA Bill. As Equal Education, we think that the signing of the BELA Bill into law is more urgent than ever. And so we are standing against the threats that the DA has put out. We think that those are baseless as they have not come forward with substantive arguments in terms of why they don't want the BELA Bill to be signed into law. And so again, to threaten with instability in our government also goes to show that the DA has little to no care for the schooling system and the basic education of our country. So as Equal Education, we want the president to prioritize the signing of the BELA Bill because there's been consultations, we've gone into communities, so everyone has had a moment to have their voice heard through those processes. And so the delays are further delaying the voice of the people in the process.
Various clauses still raise concerns, even as you and I speak, Itumeleng. Provincial head of departments having the final say when it comes to the school language policy, which really speaks to some of the concerns that have been raised about this BELA Bill. What is your take on that?
As Equal Education, we've raised that as some of the contentious things in the BELA Bill. However, that clause is contentious because we've had many cases where learners have been discriminated because of who sits in those SGBs. And we know that in Quintile 5, schools, very little, it's only a small chunk of black parents from working classes that are able to access power in those SGBs. And so you're likely to have indigenous languages put out. And so that's why you need someone that's in the department who has the moral duty of making sure that there's equality in this country to be able to have a final say so that the biasness of the SGBs can be ruled out by someone who has that kind of moral duty. Because the SGBs, unfortunately, in many schools have been able to get away with these language policies that have been discriminatory. And so as Equal Education, we are saying that SGBs, their powers is not being taken away. However, the HOD is just going to have a final say to support what the SGB is saying and where they feel that actually this will infringe on other learners' rights within that school, have a say in terms of what the language policy looks like. And so as Equal Education, even though there is that contention, we still support that the BELA Bill must be signed.
What about objections to the inclusion of grade R into primary schools?
Again, grade R, as Equal Education, we support that grade R must be put into the primary schooling system. What this does is that it puts grade R in the basic education system, which means that we're no longer doing the dilly-dallying between social development and the Department of Basic Education. We know exactly who is responsible for those grade R learners. But what this also will do is that it will enhance the ECD learning of our country. We know that the statistics like the PILS report that tells us that by grade 4 learners cannot read for meaning. That is a direct reflection of what happens in those ECD centers. And so if grade R is brought closer to the basic education system, therefore we are able to hold that ministry accountable. But as Equal Education, we've raised a concern in one clause within that grade R thing, which says that it must be immediately, because we understand that there needs, the Department of Basic Education needs to detail the process that they will take in order for them to make sure that the progression into grade R and that transition is done carefully and make sure that we leave no learners behind, so that it doesn't fall onto parents that their child weren't able to access grade R. Because South Africa has a lot of issues that make learners end up not being able to access school on time.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on the discussion. Equal Education Deputy General Secretary Itumeleng Mothlabane weighing in on the conversation around the BELA Bill and, of course, the impact of what will happen if it is not signed into law. We continue, of course, over the next couple of days to bring you more analysis around this. The stakes are high, and the impact it would have on the Democratic Alliance and its supporters.